There's three ways for you to publish your work. Number one is to do it all yourself. And the tools and the technology are available for you to 100% do it all yourself. You can build your own house by yourself. You could do a whole bunch of stuff by yourself. That's one way. I have found that if I were to do it by myself, it wouldn't get done. That's my argument against self-publishing. If I were to do it myself, it wouldn't get done. Not a lot. We're not even talking about quality. We're just talking about completion. It just wouldn't get done because I have no accountability. I have no support. There's nobody cheering me on. It just feels so lonely. It just feels so lonely. So self-publishing, that's my big argument against self-publishing, is you have to do it all yourself. However, you get to keep all the money, which is awesome. So you have to do all the work, but you get to keep all the money. Now, for those of us that are maybe want to learn a little more, you can hire out everything. You could find an editor and pay them. You could find a designer and pay them. You could figure out a new software tool. You could learn to format a book yourself. You could learn to do all this stuff. But I just wonder if that's being the best steward of your time. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it, right? We found that in life. There's just some things, maybe do it once for fun, but it's not something you want to do as a pro. And so my second argument against self-publishing is the quality. And I love thrift store shopping because my dad was a preacher growing up and I grew up broke. And so we would go to thrift stores and garage sales. Can y'all still hear me okay? Awesome. Okay. And so I love going thrift store shopping. It's something I'll never not do. And when I go to Goodwill and I look at the book section, from 10 feet away, I can tell you which books are self-published. It's just so obvious. The font is off. The paper quality is not right. You can just tell it's the first time they're doing it. And if you're self-publishing and it's the first time you're doing it, it's going to feel like it's the first one. And if it's your only one and it feels like the first one, I just think that you want your book to not feel like amateur hour. You want your book to feel professional. You want your book to feel like it really matters and like it really lasts. And so those are my two big arguments against self-publishing. Number one, it's lonely. You got to figure it all out yourself. And then number two, it doesn't have the same level of quality of the other books. So there you go. That's one option. You can do it, but there's some negatives to it as well. Okay. Number two, you could go the other way, which is let somebody else do all the work for you. So that's traditional publishing. There are big machines. There are companies that have been around for 100+ years and they have built a big machine. They have big buildings in New York City. They have big warehouses. They have editors that can be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They have best-selling authors that they have $1 million contracts. They are a really big machine. And the way that really big machine works is they look for investments. They're looking for, can I pay with my time and my treasure? Can I pay with my machine to find some talent to then put a book together to get it out to make my money back? And if you think about it, a traditional publisher is an investor and they're investing in the message, hoping to not just get a return, like I pay $1 and I get $1 back, but they want to get 10 times the money back. And so who are they going to invest in? They're going to invest in sure bets. They're going to invest in trends. They're going to invest in big audiences. So somebody's on a TV show, traditional publishers, have you ever thought about writing a book? Or somebody has a huge Instagram following. They're like, have you ever thought about writing a book? And the deal is that they invest about $50,000. They invest through their payroll and through their buildings and through their system. They invest about that much money. Plus maybe they even give an advance against the sales in exchange for them owning 90% of the profits or 85% of the profits. So they're kind of taking a gamble. And so they only want to take a gamble on sure bets because it's a company. And so that person that's deciding to sign a new author, they don't want to look like an idiot. So they want to make sure that book at least makes the money back. And so if you just do the math real quick, if the average traditionally published book costs about $50,000 of investment, then they have to sell at least 10,000 copies. That's it. They just have to sell at least 10,000 copies in order to make about $5 a book. And so they're only going to work with somebody that they think can sell at least 10,000 copies. And if on average, 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10 of your email subscribers buys a book from you, it's not 5 out of 5. Let's just say 1 out of 5. Then that means you would have to have 50,000 people on your email list. So I've actually found that the advance that a traditional publisher will pay right now is about $1 per email subscriber. So if you say I have 30,000 people on my email list, they could pay up to $30,000 to sign you. Now, they pay that up front so you can take the time to write your book, and then you don't earn an extra dollar until you've earned all that money, is the way it works. So it's an advance. It's kind of like a sales position. Now, the dirty little secret is even if you get a good deal like that, you feel so obligated to the publisher. And there's a lot of guilt and shame. And I've talked to so many authors who did one book with a traditional publisher and never wrote a book again because the expectations were crippling. This is something nobody talks about. And so even if you get this big deal, still there's an expectation that you're going to sell 10,000 plus copies because everybody's got their mouth at the trough. Like everybody's trying to eat a little bit of the pie, and they're looking at you and they blame you that it's your fault that the book didn't sell. Really scary. I've been there. A lot of my friends have been there. That's negative number one, is that there's a high sales expectation because it's a big machine. And so there's a lot of imposter syndrome and self-doubt. And the challenge is nobody's there to help you because everybody just wants you to sell. Even your editor, they have to make sure your book sells. Otherwise, they might lose their job. So the second knock against traditional publishing is that it's a big machine. And so who are they going to focus on? They're going to focus on the person running for president, or they're going to focus on your book. They're going to focus on the big celebrity that's going on Good Morning America, or they're going to focus on your book. So even if you have an agent who is able to sell your book, still, you might not get the support, the attention, the encouragement, the nurturing that you really want as a first-time author. So it can be really overwhelming and really lonely. And like self-publishing. So even traditional publishing could feel really lonely. This is all from personal experience. Even if I didn't have a hybrid company, I would still say all these things. So I really think that there is a better way. We're doing our best every day to make there a better way. And so we have a company called Hope Books, and it's a hybrid. It's the best of both worlds. You have the autonomy of a self-published author where you can decide on the book cover, you can decide what to call it. You can tell your own story. We don't edit out your voice. It's your book. But you get all the services of a traditional publisher, and you get more. You get weekly group coaching. So there's a Zoom call every week where I'm there most of the time. Other authors are there. We're supporting and encouraging each other. You get to know each other through our online community. There's a step-by-step process inside of our project management system. You can see the video, know exactly what to do next. And if you feel overwhelmed, you just send a message. We're like, oh, you feel overwhelmed? No problem. Can we hop on a call? Can we answer your question? Can we send you a video? We're really, truly here for you. And so that just hasn't been my experience with a traditional publisher. If I ask a question, it's like it takes 3 weeks to hear back, and they have to go through a committee to answer the question, as opposed to being small and a tight-knit group. So those are your three options. Self-publishing, you own it all yourself. Traditional publishing, you hope the big machine publishes you, or some sort of a hybrid. Hope Books is a good option to check out, hopebooks.com to learn more. So those are your three options. Now, what's really cool is that every book, you get to make that decision. You get to make that decision. And so this is how my wife and I approach education. We just say 1 year at a time. 1 year at a time. So when we think about our kids, we're like, okay, they're out of school. We like that school. But what if something changes? We get to make the decision again next year. Do we want to send them again? Yeah, we do. Okay, 1 more year. I've had friends that have done homeschool and then they go back to traditional school, or they do public school and then they send the kids to Christian school and then back to public school. 1 year at a time. So I want to challenge you, one book at a time when it comes to the way that you publish your books. One book at a time. So you might work with Hope Books and go, wow, that was really great. I think I'm ready to self-publish. I think I want to maybe save a little bit of money, maybe learn and do some of these things myself, stretch my wings a little bit, and I want to self-publish my second book, my second book. That's awesome. And then as your audience grows, you might find that agents start calling or knocking or following on Instagram or sending you messages saying, wow, I saw how your first book did. I'd love to talk to you about a second book. So as long as you have the eyes wide open and look at it and not get romantic about it, but actually look at the numbers and actually look at what you get, I think you can make a decision. You can say, okay, this is what it costs and this is what I get. This is what that costs and this is what I get. But there is no free option. There's no such thing as publishing for free. It's either going to cost you your time or it's going to cost you your treasure. But either way, it's going to cost you something. So quick overview of how to get published. My goal is to continue publishing through a hybrid publisher because I just think that's the best of both worlds. The future's a long time. So I have a plan of many books in the future. I might do a traditional book again. I might self-publish a book or use something like our system, Hope Books.